Alright, so we're checking out the Pavo Femto, and this is not the plug and play or the bind and fly version with the 04 air unit pre-installed. This is actually just the frame with the Pavo Pico electronics moved over to this frame, and I moved over the 04 air unit from the Meteor 65 Pro 04 that I reviewed earlier, and I did a video on like jello discussion. I released that earlier, and then I'm going to continue to talk about that in this video a little bit more, because yes, there's still jello now. This is not exactly the same as what you would buy if you picked it up as a plug and play without the 04 air unit. The motor kV is the same, so it's the same 1102 14,000 kV motor, but this is the older generation 1102 that came with the Pavo Pico. And then the flight controller is a little bit different as well. It's the F405 flight controller that came with the Pavo Pico. The newer one that will come with the Femto will have the USB port coming out of the back. That's the updated version. Otherwise, it's pretty much the same. And I did copy over the CLI dump for the Femto from the product page. And if you're wondering about how to install the 04 air unit into the canopy here, the BETAFPV already made a video on how to do that. It's pretty good. I'll link that in the video description. It's also on the product page as well. So really the only thing I had to do is move over my parts from the Pavo Pico, the motors and the flight controller to this frame. It was pretty easy. Same screws, all the mounting holes are in the same spot. I didn't have to make any adjustments. I just moved the parts over exactly as they were on the Pavo Pico. And of course, I just attached the prop guards for the Femto with the Femto frame. The size difference is really minute. I mean, just like a few millimeters difference in terms of the motor to motor width to go down to the smaller 40 millimeter prop. And this is, it's a gem fan prop. It's they're calling it the 1611 3-bladed with a 1.5 millimeter shaft. It's 40 millimeter propeller, basically. And let me just show you what this weighs before I start taking it apart and talking about it. So this is with the battery, and let's get this out of the way there. So we're talking about 81 grams with the lipo, which is in the tray here, and this is a 550 lava. The recommended battery is actually the 450 lava, which I don't have any of those. I only have the 550s. These fit in the tray. It's a very snug fit. The 450s I heard are also a very snug fit. I tried some other batteries like a Tattoo and G&Bs, but they were too wide for this tray. These are kind of narrow. So these are the other ones that fit. So if you have other batteries you want to use, the other 2S lipos with the XT30, you're going to have to cut off the tray here. So just take a Dremel or a cutting tool, cut off the tray, and then use a battery strap. Just wrap it around like this. Or you could, come up with some sort of a TPU part as well. That could probably work. Now, in terms of the weight here with no battery, it is almost 51.7 grams. And as I said, I took the CLI dump over from the Femto product page to put it over to this flight controller, and I just put in my rates and changed some OSD elements, but otherwise it's pretty much going to be like you would get out of the Femto. Obviously the flight controller differences and the motor differences may account for some of the jello I'm getting on here. In terms of the way it sounded in the air and the way it felt fine. Like I felt like I had good control, it was responsive. I didn't feel like I was being held back in any way. Now, in terms of the motor difference, I think these new lava motors that are going to be coming with the Femto that I don't have, they probably have more power, because I think they said they redesigned the magnets, which usually means it's going to provide more power, but you're going to probably get less efficiency. So I got on this 550 almost a 6-minute flight, and I think on the product page for the 450 it's something like 4 minutes. So I think the older motor is probably more efficient than the newer lava motor, but the newer motor is probably going to have more power. And they're kind of, sort of, as a feature, they're, touting the extra thrust as you get from that motor compared to the older generation, which, by the way, this motor is discontinued now. You can't get this anymore, at least on the BETAFPV site. So the lava motor is now I guess going forward, it's going to be the standard 1102 motor for BETAFPV. Now, I'm going to get the plug-and-play version of this at some point in the future, probably about a month from now. I'm not exactly sure why BETAFPV sent me the stuff in the way they sent it to me. I think they mentioned something about budget concerns or only a limited amount of money available for review samples, something of that sort. So I'm a little concerned about that because normally you just send me everything and then I just review whatever that comes, what the customers would get. And in this case, I'm going to get that eventually, they said, but just not right away. So if you're wondering what this is going to be like as a version a customer would get, it's probably going to be a little bit different. Don't know if it's going to be jello or not. You may want to watch some other reviews regarding that. I suppose that's going to be better. I'm not 100% sure. May not be. We're going to talk about this canopy here. I did a whole video on the jello stuff on the previous things that this camera was sitting in before. I'll link that in the video description. I'm going to regurgitate that 15-minute video again here. Go watch that, and then come back, and then we'll talk about this jello some more. But yeah, you're gonna have to watch the history of this to sort of get an idea what's going on. But go ahead and take this off, and then we'll talk about this. Yeah, so it just attaches with these 4 screws, just like on the Pavo Pico and also the Pavo 20. And I believe this canopy can also go on the Pavo Pico and the Pavo 20. So if you're looking for something with a little bit more power, I think the Pavo Pico is going to be also on 2S, but with a 45mm propeller instead of a 40mm propeller. And then the Pavo 20 will be the 2-inch propeller. And I believe that is on 3S. I forget if it's 2S or 3S, but that's definitely more power. And you just have to loosen these 4 screws. It's exactly the same design, just smaller, shrunken down version. And then the little canopy comes off like this. And then there's the plug here on the side. We'll unplug that. And as you can see, here's what that looks like. It's the same as the Pavo Pico, essentially. There's really no difference. Obviously, the Femto will come with the USB port in the back here instead of on the side. Where is it? Yeah, the USB port there is on the side of the bottom of the board right over there. So it's a little bit hard to get to, but I can still get to it. But here's what the canopy looks like. It's nice and compact. The 4 screws go in here. Again, there's a whole video on how to put this in here. It literally takes like 10 minutes. The biggest trick is getting this cable to come out and not touch any part of this plastic canopy. And you can see I've kind of twisted it around or arranged it so that it is not touching, except for right there. But as you can see, the cable comes out like this and then comes out at an angle. And I don't want to stress this out too much here. So it is touching right there. That could be the reason why there's a lot of jello. And I don't want to push that too much. I'm afraid I might break it. It's a very delicate cable, so you want to be really careful. Maybe the bind and fly version has this installed better than I did, and that's why maybe they won't have jello. And then and I have this sort of twisted around so it's floating, and it's going to be hard to see, but you can see it's not touching any part of the canopy. And then it goes into the back. It kind of twists around. It's completely floating. This camera is completely floating as well with the 4 rubber bands there. But, you know, as you see in this video here, there's lots of jello. And, you know, just for comparison purposes, I did a lot of videos on the TQ18 with the 04 air unit in here with my own custom TPU mount. This is kind of hard mounted. It's not floating in there, but I don't get any jello. And I'm flying at this exact same park, and there's no clouds on this sunny day. It's completely sunny, and I'm getting completely smooth jello vibration-free video from this setup with no camera being floating like that. Basically soft mounted. It's pretty much hard mounted, though there's some TPU surrounding the camera before it touches the camera cage. So it is sort of soft mounted, but not to the extent of this. And I'm starting to think that these rubber bands from BETAFPV are too soft, and it allows low frequency vibrations to get through, which is causing that jello, the wavy video, the vibrations. And also, by the way, the jello messes up the gyro flow stabilization as well, if you're wondering. That should be obvious in case you didn't know. And I did check to see if any of the rubber bands are touching the side, and I checked very carefully. It's hard to see, but it's not touching anywhere. And I adjusted this camera around, make sure that it was clearly floating and not touching anything, but there is still jello. So I think it's because of the design of the rubber bands. Maybe it needs to be a little stiffer, and still allow it to float but not vibrate. And I have a feeling that as people get these, and there's going to be more videos out, reviews, and also customers putting videos out, I think you're going to see a lot of variation in terms of who gets jello and who doesn't. I think it's going to come down to the quality of the build, the quality of the propellers that you're using, and also how the camera was installed on their particular build. So that's something to look out for. I will get the plug-and-play version of this and make another video again, and we'll see if there's any differences. But I did try a bunch of different stuff to see if I can get the jello to go away. I'll put a link to the DVR for where I'm adjusting the shutter speed, trying different shutter speeds to see if that would make jello go away. And I'm also going to talk about how to get good camera video from this in general, adjusting the shutter speed in another video. I'll have that at some point soon. Another thing that they could do is perhaps design some ND filters for this if you can get the shutter speed down, because I was still, with no ND filter, you're still in the 1/5000, 1/4000 shutter speed is still pretty high. If you can get the shutter speed down to maybe 1/250, 1/380, something like that, lower with an ND filter, that could probably mitigate a lot of the jello. But this design does not have any ND filters currently, so we'll have to wait and see. And again, I think we're going to see a lot of people with jello from this particular design. That's my prediction. Unfortunately, we'll have to see if it's just because maybe I didn't install the camera correctly, although I did follow the video step by step. Maybe it's because I'm using the wrong motors. Maybe I need the more powerful motors for less jello. Highly unlikely. And then, somebody mentioned in a previous video where I was talking about the jello that the reason I was getting jello is because I was using the N3 goggles and not the G3 goggles, or goggles 3. And I was like, that's an interesting theory. I wonder where that came from. I don't think that's the case. I don't think the goggles you're using matters in terms of whether you'll see jello or not. It's the first time I've ever heard of that. If you know where that theory is coming from, I'd like to know, find out the source, because that's a really weird one. I don't believe it's true for an instant. I have been flying pretty much the goggles N3 for most of my videos lately, just because people were challenging me, saying that the reason, they basically I made some videos with the N3 saying that those goggles are no good, and no one should be able to fly with those. I'm like, I'll just keep flying them and see what, see if that's true or not. I haven't had any issues flying with them. I'm flying with them pretty much exclusively for about a few weeks now. Or before, it was on and off. I was switching back and forth between the goggles Integra and the goggles 3, but just pretty much using the N3s, and they're fine. At least for me, I have no problems. Anyway, there's going to be more discussion on the jello later. Still doing some more tests. I'm going to do a video on how to put an 04 air unit into an analog build. So this is a 3-inch analog build. Take out the analog camera and the analog VTX, and I'm going to put an 04 air unit in here. That'll be in a future video. So if you got some analog quads, you're looking for ways to put the 04 air unit into your analog quads. I'll have a video on that. And we'll see if there's jello in this one, because this will be mounted to that metal camera cage, but with the BETAFPV rubber band system here. So we'll see if that makes any difference at all. So that'll do it for now. I'll link the DVR footage and some more 4K footage down in the video description. If you want to watch more jello, by all means, go ahead and do that. I'll link the frame and the plug and play and all the other parts down in the video description as well. But I don't know, my suggestion is wait and see. Basically when I get the plug and play version of the Femto and see if that fixes stuff, if the jello goes away or not. I don't know if that's going to be the case. I think it's going to come down to whether or not I get lucky enough to get a clean build, even though all these parts are nice and clean, not been crashed or anything like that. So again, I think the situation right now is a wait and see. So got any questions, comments, let me know in the comments below. Talk to you guys in the next one.